Right guys, today we're going to talk about ninja mouth gags. Now we're using the Natori blank workbook and we're on this. This is called biboku. So when you are on a ninja team exercise, this is not for solo people, but possibly. What you would do is you would biboku most of your men, and probably the captain, the leader, would give the commands and these guys would have their mouth shut. It's just there to stop your lads talking. This is not what you do to criminals. Criminal gags are different to this. Criminal gags go right into the mouth and bound up, whereas these ones are just to stop the men from chatting and saying, hey Bob, you know, let's go home, getting cold, Bob, you know, that temptation, like, all right. So he gets rid of that temptation. So this is the biboku, which is different to the mouth gag. Now the idea of this is to stop them talking, but also to stifle the breath. Now there is actually, oh sorry, my dog's doing something. So there is actually something like this in Hattori Hanzo's Shinobi Hiden, which is they use paper in the mouth for when he's creeping in to stop the breath. It's like, instead of that one, you know what I mean? So you breathe more through your nose. So that is biboku. Right guys, we're working again for today from the Shoninki. We're going to be using the Natori blank workbook. So, pigeons or birds or animals, okay? Now, animals can tell you exactly what it's like around the area. So you must have all had it when you've been in a city and you're eating something, or you're at the seaside and you're eating something and the birds come down and feed from you. Now those birds are well accustomed to human behaviour. They know they're not in any danger, so they'll come over and get, you know, and eat off you. Now, usually in the countryside and wildlife, birds are off instantly. Anything's off. So this tells you, and it's the same bird, it can be the same type of bird, but it tells you that some animals near humans become trained to understand that there's no threat from the local humans, you know, just getting on with their daily lives. And which means if you're in an area and the birds are not spooked and scared, people are either coming through this area a lot, people are using this area a lot, or you're close to an area, you know, to an area that's populated. Remember back in old Japan, we're talking about very poor tracks. Even the roads and highways were full of, you know, potholes and trees and things like that. You know, it's not like the super highways of today, and you might really not be far from people. Now I know in Old England, I don't know how true this is, I need to check this out, but it talks about the spires of churches being tall so people could see where they are, because you only have to be 100 meters away and you don't know where they are. There's trees and bushes and things all over the place. It wasn't concreted like it is today. So just looking at the behavior of animals can tell you that somewhere nearby there's human habitation or not. But also there's a reverse of this. So sometimes animals that are not used to humans are told, don't even see them as a predator, and will just pop along and come close. So there is certain animals are the reverse of that. But on the whole, if an animal shies away and runs away, it's not used to humans. If it comes up and it wants stroking or it wants food or something like that, it's used to humans. That's how you tell what's in the area. And that's part of Shinobi no Jutsu. Right everyone, so where should you collect most information for a shinobi? You're going on a shinobi mission, where should you collect it? Well, the best place is actually religious centres, but this needs a bit of explaining. The Shoninki says that you should get your information from a religious centre, the temple, the Japanese temple. This is because in Japanese times, people used to have to be registered at the temple, and not only that, they had to attend the temple, or at least attend a temple, and, you know, society deemed it proper that they should. And this is the same in the West. Up until very recently, people were deemed weird or strange if they didn't attend the church. So if you, and the church becomes your congregation, your extended family, and your family are in there. So basically, if you want to get information on someone, you go to where the community focuses itself. In modern times, this is a bit difficult to really comprehend because very few people go to community centres or community focus points. So realistically today it would be the internet, because that's where most people gather. Where do they gather? Well, they gather in Facebook groups, they gather in YouTube circles, and you get your information that way. You must all know that you follow your favorite YouTubers and you get information on the subject that you want. Now that's replaced the sort of community vibe of a church where everybody got their information from the church. So yes, a Shinobi today would be different, but when we're looking in the old days, before the internet, before all that, you needed to go where people came together and spoke openly, and that place was religious places of worship. So the teaching does seem a little bit strange for today, but you can make this teaching easily into modern times. It's just the people you want to target, where do they congregate? That's the place you go. So get yourself a copy of Natori blank workbook, go through it. We're doing that. Got another one for the next video, and then we'll crack on later and get through it. Eventually we're going to get through them all. This is the list. You can actually download this list from my website, and it's all there, but I'll keep you updated with the video. Right, we're working again from the Natori blank workbook, and basically last time we spoke about using religious places to gain information. Now this time we're talking about giving the money to religious leaders. Now it's without doubt that everybody knows that religious leaders on the whole have wanted cash. Religious institutions want cash. Now remember, the reason we're talking about religious institutions through Shinobi no Jutsu is because that's where in old Japan the knowledge about each person was kept. They were recorded, who their father was, their family sort of history, and people knew them. So if you wanted to know about a certain person, you infiltrated their religious organization, and you would then give lots of money to the religious people, you know, the sort of priests and the temple runners, and you would get in their graces. So, and then you would use your Shinobi skills to round about the conversation to get to a certain point you wanted, to find the information you wanted. Remember, today that's not the case. Not so many people are religious today. You want to be bribing people who have the knowledge. So whatever you're asked, whatever you need. So like, is it the people who keep their place of employment? Everybody keeps the file on them. Whoever keeps the file and the information on the target you're looking at, you should be bribing or having somebody else bribe. Now, I don't mean bribe in the sense that, you know, or blackmail, not that way, not negative, but start lashing money out, take them for meals, pay for things. And even this, I'm going to do 2 teachings in one, and this is even offer, basically offer to spend more. Even though you don't, you spend like, say, hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars and imply you're going to spend tens of thousands doing a new building, or 100,000 with a new building, and make a show of lots of money. Even though you don't spend that much, you might only spend like $1,000, which is nothing in the case of war, or $2,000. You're like, yeah, we'll spend it, and they can see, oh, you're just throwing $2,000 on a meal, my God, or $2,000 just on a day out on a trip. My God, this guy's rich and he's promising to pay us more. Yeah, let's give him everything he wants. That's what you're trying to do. So don't forget, you can download the bullet point list from my website, and keep up with me. Right guys, we're carrying on with Shinobi teachings from Natori, and these are places to hide. Now these are listed by Isu Sensei as the best places to hide for a Shinobi, but there is the teaching at the end that they're actually well known. So in a well or around a well, around some rocks or boulders, you know, hidden within, on a cliff. Now remember, this is a 2-dimensional drawing. A cliff can be 3-dimensional with lots of cracks and crannies and different places. It can be miles long as well, so a cliff can be miles long. In the mountains, of course, you can whip off, walk 6 miles in a few hours, climb a mountain, come back the next day. Nobody's going to really go and search for you there. In caves and hollows, also in toilets. If anybody else can explain to me why I've put 2 trees on the toilet, you'll be getting a thumbs up and some points for that. What are those trees? What specimen of trees are they? And why are they next to the toilet? Hide against walls, within the shadows of walls, or in the open. So basically, you know, like large plains, open places where just lie down, or, you know, all out there. So they are the places to hide, and that is from the Shoninki. Now, of course, using the Natori blank workbook, and hopefully you'll join us next time.